Joe Borelli's a friend, Councilman Joe Borelli. We've been all over with Joe at the convention and then down in Washington. And now always great that Joe takes time to join us. He's got small kids in the house, yet he still calls his old pal Piscopo on the radio. He's the minority whip of the New York City Council and really the voice of reason in that council. And Joe, always great to have you on the show. How you doing this morning, Joe Borelli?
Good. I have a syrup confession too, because I know we're on video today. So to paint a picture for the viewing audience,
yes.
I'm in my bathrobe like Vinny the Chin Gigante, and I'm about to have my favorite breakfast, which is leftover Thanksgiving ham with a little bit of maple syrup on top.
Oh,
that's what makes a breakfast. A breakfast treat is you put a little maple syrup on it.
Thank you, Joe. And those 5-minute ads I do, I tell you, it's so great. You gotta, and this is the amber I hold in my hand. Do you actually wear a robe, a Vinny the Chin robe?
Well, it's chilly in the house. I don't want to catch a cold. And yes, I do wear a bathrobe on occasion.
That is so Italian, Joe. You are the best.
What an image this is.
I know, Joe Borelli in the
Councilman in his robe.
How are you? How are you? Good to see you. How are you, Joe Borelli? Nice to have you. How are you? Kids, don't touch anything. How are the babies, Joe? How are the babies?
The babies are good. The younger one just was christened on Sunday, so we had a nice party for him.
Oh.
We, he had to wear the whole outfit. Now he has the lifetime of guilt, so he's good. He's ready to go.
Did you do the Godfather one? Did you go? You're in Staten Island, that church in the Godfather?
No. Our good friend Vinny Ignazio won't even open that church up for me. You would think I have friends who wanted to get married there.
Yeah,
but it's amazing. I tell Vinny he's always looking for ways to raise money for the Catholic charities. Rent out the church. Let people have their photos taken and stuff there.
It's
so
a great
we'll
idea.
have to talk to him.
Joe Borelli, do you denounce Satan?
Oh, we went through the whole litany. Did you cheat on your taxes? Did you do everything?
And listen, we're not going anywhere, right, Joey? We're Catholic and we're proud to be. Hey,
absolutely.
So we have one-party government in New York State. What do you think that means we're in store for, Joe Borelli?
Well, the Republicans can only go up from here, I guess, right?
Yeah, unbelievable.
No, I know, but seriously, Joe, and this is something that we have even mentioned before the election. This is going to be a problem for New Yorkers. This is going to be a problem for New York businesses. The pendulum is going to take a very big swing to the left as Democrats who are not in full power are finally in power, and we are going to see things pushed like Medicaid for all, which is another word for single-payer health care for New York State. Yeah. We're going to see the end of fusion voting. So people like Frank Morano can't take over these obscure third parties, and use them to his own personal benefit. You ask Frank Morano every 2 or 3 years what his ideology is. It just happens to be whatever third party he's taking over. So he's a reform guy now, but that's over. But I think the Democrats are going to end this concept of fusion voting, and it's going to be a while before the pendulum swings back the other way.
But what about all the programs the Democrats promised? Will those ever come to fruition?
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see Cuomo weigh the need to be somewhat fiscally prudent with the need to give the Democrats who elected him, what they want. All basically set back to the theatrics of his 2020 dance, where he has to outshine, people like Kirsten Gillibrand, people like Bill de Blasio in his own state.
So what are you most afraid of, Joe? I mean, as a conservative, what are you most concerned about?
I am actually afraid of single-payer health care in New York State. This is something that was tried in Vermont. I mean, about 2012, I want to say. Don't quote me on that, but say about 10 years ago in Vermont, they passed a single-payer law, and the governor, a very progressive liberal governor, Shmulin, actually vetoed the bill and overturned it because even a state like Vermont with a high income, with a lot of healthy people, with a very small population, couldn't even afford to do single payer amongst themselves. If this happens in New York State, you will see one Joe Borelli come over to you at the Garden State or make some other alternatives. Because
man,
it is not going to be good. If you've ever been to a New York City public hospital, they are not. They're just not good.
Yeah. Well, listen, Jersey,
and that's the care we'd be given.
Jersey's right behind you, brother. I tell you, it seems like we've lost New York and now Jersey and along the lines of California, and this is what we got to look forward to. Hey, so what do you think is going to happen in Mississippi between Height Smith and SB today, Joe Borelli?
Well, I tell you, I'm scared because I was a strange kid. So every kid wanted to go to Hershey Park when they were a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
I made my parents take me to Gettysburg in like the summer of '94. So I know for a fact that somewhere in the Borelli household there is a picture of me in some Civil War garb as a kid, and I can't remember if I'm in the Union outfit or the Confederate outfit.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
based on the new standards, I may be ineligible to run for Senate because I had a Confederate hat on or something. I mean, these are the arguments against Cindy Hyde-Smith
Crazy.
in a state
Crazy.
that routinely elects Republicans,
Yeah,
whereas
yeah.
her opponent, Mike Espy, has been indicted in corruption scandals, votes with Chuck Schumer 95% of the time, takes these personal side trips that he couldn't justify using taxpayer expenses. I mean, Mike Espy is not a clean-cut
I got you.
a good Democrat.
I got you. Joe Borelli, we appreciate it very much. Give our best to Dan Donovan. We miss Dan. We know he's going to be stepping away in January, but we love Dan Donovan. And just have to
I'll
ask.
get him a bathrobe for his retirement.
See, well, even though he's not Italian, and Joe, you're gonna. I mean, you don't have to say anything, and we're gonna go to break now. But you're considering maybe going after Dan Donovan's seat and going into that race, perhaps in a couple
We'll
of years.
see. I'll tell you at the Christmas party.
Oh, good. Yeah, you're invited to, by the way.
I know. I'm very excited.
I didn't get my invite, but I guess I better show up. Joey, we love you, man. Keep that robe on.